Hello Knockouts, Tonya TKO here, and I'm a self-love specialist from TonyaTKO.com. I hope you learn how to love yourself and each other. On this channel, we talk about self-loving or self-abusing through relationship, as well as viral video topics which can be used as teachable moments for our own lives in terms of dating and relating. In this video, we're going to be talking about how so many of us hate the black man. And hear me out, because this may not be what it is that you think it is. So listen, right? Last night I had an epiphany in the middle of the night. I woke up and I was reading my comments. And I came across this one comment where the young lady said, "I'm sorry, but she should know better. I don't feel bad for her at all!" Exclamation point. "She comes off as highly sexual, and she ended up getting what you get when you don't wear any panties. Have some respect for yourself and represent yourself as a woman/mother." All right. Okay. And when I read that comment, I had to ask the question to myself: what is it that you get when you come across a black man and you're not wearing any panties? And I had to sit there and think long and hard. And my answer was nothing. Nothing. Nothing happens. Nothing. And it dawned on me how much these people who express these things, even inadvertently, hate the black man. So that he, she, or they think that all it takes is just the view, the whiff, or the idea of some pussy to make a black man turn into a roving, troving beast. Listen to what it is that I'm saying. What happens if you go around a black man not wearing any panties? Nothing happens. Because the vast majority of black men are good people. I've been thinking about this case for so long, since it started. And some of you are like, Tonya, you're obsessed with this. No, 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 no. This is a national conversation that needs to be had. And I would be remiss to start talking about some lesser subject. What you want me to talk about? I would be remiss to talk about some lesser subject when this glaring conversation with so much tumultuousness in it is staring us in the face. What happens when you go over to a black man's house whom you don't know? Nothing happens. Nothing. See, there's a difference between being aroused. Oh, yes. Will a man be aroused if he sees some naked pussy? Yeah, sure. Sure. Depending on the man. Depending on whose pussy it is. But the line is drawn when it comes to rape. Listen to what it is that I'm saying. Being aroused and raping are two very different things. And when we imply that black men are these mindless beasts, that all he has to do is whiff and he's out of control, he then takes what he... Come on. What is it that you think of black men? Somebody had the nerve to ask me, what if that was your brother? What if that was your brother as the accused? If I saw my brother in a video with a woman doubled over in his arms, catatonic, despondent, and he was sucking on her neck, spitting on his hand, and shoving it up under her frock, I would be ashamed. I would be ashamed. Not for her, but for him. Men are the safekeepers of women and children. And the vast majority of men are protectors. The vast majority. We have a few out there running rampant, wreaking havoc in the communities and people's homes, and they're wreaking havoc in multiple homes across the board. When I think of a black man, I don't think of some mindless beast. When we adhere to these negative stereotypes, you have no idea how much damage you do, because you're perpetuating racist stereotypes, the same thing that the white man said about black men. These niggers, they can't be trusted. These niggers are animals. Let them get a taste or a whiff, and they turn into these raping beasts. These niggers need to be put down. It's the same excuses that were used to kill, murder, and lynch black men. And we perpetuate these stereotypes every time that we support that this man, Dominique the Creep, was only doing what comes natural when there's a woman in front of you with no underwear, or who is intoxicated or incapacitated. Every time we make excuses for this person, Dominique the Creep, we put another nail in the coffin of black people's public perception. So no, if this were my brother who were the accused, I would be mortified. A part of me would die on the inside to see my brother harm a woman like that. And there's no doubt about it. How can you see this? How can you look at this and not see that she was assaulted? She's incapacitated. So what happens if you go around a black man and you're not wearing underwear? You tell me. What happens? What happens if you go over to a black man's house whom you don't know very well? What happens? And it all plays back into the low perception that we have of black males. Oh, he can't help himself. He's a beast. He's a rapist. I mean, come on. This is what I'm saying. And the thing is that the people think that I speaking out about it, am the one who hate black men. But it's actually the flip side. It's the people who are confusing and condoning this behavior as black male behavior that actually hate black men. Because if you loved them, you would call them to task and know that they can do better. Listen, if they can't do better, then why do we bother? If they're just beasts, then that means we need to separate ourselves. They need to be put down. Is that what it is? Black men don't have control? Is that what you think? How lowly you think of black men? And they get it twisted. Their idea of love is enabling, condoning bad behavior, allowing a person to vibrate lowly and to unleash that on others. When real love is knowing that a person can do better, knowing how the high vibration that a person can be at, knowing that this is the original man, knowing that black men are protectors, are providers, are the safekeepers. Unfortunately, the empty barrels make the most noise. I have high esteem for black men. People ask, oh, why would you go out to a party alone? I've gone to parties alone. I've traveled alone. I've lived in different countries alone. When I was in Japan and a black man attacked me, there was a black man in the Navy who drove 2.5 hours to come get me. He didn't know me. He drove 2.5 hours to come get me. I don't know where the Kitty Hawk was stationed, but he drove from the Kitty Hawk to come get me. And he took me back to his place and he kept me there safe. When I was backpacking through the Middle East and I had gone through Turkey to get to Greece and it landed in Italy and that euro grabbed the whole of my account and wiped it out and I had no money and had to cash out some stocks. 1, it was a black man who sent me money. 2, it was a black man who signed for me, did not know me, but he signed for me to get onto the army base in Vicenza. And it was another black man on that army base who hid me out in his barracks until the weekend was over and I could go to the ATM machine. When I got robbed in the Dominican Republic and I had to leave Santo Domingo to go up to Jarabacoa and I had no cash money and my ATM card had been compromised so I could not get money. It was an Afro-Latino, a black man, who sat up there. He did not know me and he fed me. Asked nothing in return. He fed me. When I went to Japan to be an English teacher and I got fired on my first week, I guess maybe they didn't know I was black when I was coming over, whatever the case may be, I got fired my first week. And when I was living in the guitar shop using the blanket that the owner used for his dog, it was black men who came and got me out of that situation. Black men. I have countless stories, and I know that this is anecdotal, but I have countless stories, high school, college. What are some, it's like some of you are acting like we didn't grow up in the same households, in the same neighborhoods as black men. And yes, there are some assailants, but the vast majority of black men are the protectors and the providers of women and children. And there are many black men who saw that footage and felt enraged. Any black man who loves himself and loves himself as a man and holds his position in this life as man and as protector felt enraged by that footage to see a man take advantage of a woman like that. I have countless stories from high school, from college. We slept in the same bed as guys in college. Along the way, were some of these guys attracted to us? Yes, some of them were, I'm sure. But no still means no. What type of man, if you even tell him mid-stroke, no, it's just gonna keep on going. That's a rapist. And that's not the vast majority of black men. And it's like, it's so sad that we have gotten it so twisted. It's so sad that we have gotten it so twisted that now we have people using this sexual assaulter as the spokesperson for black men, and people in the comments condoning and corroborating bad behavior, predatory behavior. And the saddest part about it is, you think predators don't know that they're predators? Meanwhile, you fools are there defending them, defending the predators, and they laugh inside the recesses of their throats at how dumb we are. Protecting the predator and victimizing the victim. What a thing is that? So no. People are talking about, how this, what do you expect if you go over to a man's house who you don't know? You expect to be kept safe. I don't know. Is it me? I'm sorry. It's like, I feel like sometimes we act like we don't have black men or black women in our families. Is it just me that sees and knows that black men are great men? Is it just me? What have been some of your experiences? Yes, don't get me wrong. I know that there are assailants out there. The person who robbed me in the Dominican Republic was black. The person who attacked me when I was in Japan was black. But then on the flip side of that, when you compare just the ratio of the numbers, the fortitude of the black men who helped me versus the black men who assailed me, there's an imbalance. And for some reason, we don't see, we're not seeing that the scale tilt on the internet, because as someone said, the algorithm on YouTube allows certain videos to get promoted up higher. Not only that, YouTube enables trolling because people can have multiple accounts with just the click of a hand, of a finger. YouTube allows people to be able to go to different accounts and make all of these different comments because they feel so low down and they feel the dearth on the inside of them that they go out and they wreak this havoc on those around them. Listen, on that note, I'm going to get out of this video. I want to hear your points of view, because I cannot and I will not allow you all to try to convince me that black men are these troving, roving, mindless, raping beasts. What happens if you dance with a black man and you're not wearing underwear, nothing? You just have a dance. Maybe he might see you don't have on any panty. Maybe he might feel aroused. Maybe. But feeling aroused and holding you down there, or slipping something in your drink, or waiting for you to get drunk enough and then holding you up and to try to what, I don't know, spit on his hand and put it up under your frock, sucking on your neck, then carrying you off to the back to some raping room. Those are two completely different things. And it's high time that we started holding men accountable for their actions, holding predators accountable for their actions, and saying, no, I know you can do better than that. No, this is not normal. This will not be accepted. This is counterculture and deviant. It's time that we spoke up. And like I said, there's an imbalance of the voice, because the good black men, listen, one thing that I learned and know from being in New York, or being a New Yorker, is those that do. Those who don't, talk about it. So it's like the vast majority of good black men are just being good black men. But then look, now is the time that we have to open up our voices, that we have to just tap people on the side and say, nah. But you know what? But this is the thing. It's not even in male nature to speak too much, to talk, type, do all this typing and all this other stuff. He does. Then talk about it. He just does. And it's a shame that there weren't some real black men around there. As a matter of fact, I didn't see any other black men in the club besides this one predator. From what it is that I hear, this is an EDM club. A certain type of music, like Daft Punk, I believe. I don't know that much about EDM. But he was the only black man there. But I guarantee you, if a real dude was there, a real black man was there, a man who's about his business, a stand-up dude, a trustworthy black dude, the type of black dude that you can respect, he would have said something. He would have put an end to that right then and there. But then we have to ask the question, would the average black man do or say anything, knowing the types of violence that can ensue from confronting another black man? I don't know. I need some black men in the comments to answer that. But I know that a thorough black dude who's about his business would have said something and done something. And if the average black man wouldn't, then we have to look at what's average in our community and why. And we need to start demanding better. Like some of these pick-me's, you think that you love black men by not putting them to task and asking them to raise up and rise up. You think that you love black men by accepting low vibrating, mediocre, less than mediocre, subpar behavior from them. Oh, you don't have to be a protector. You don't have to be a provider. It's okay for you to be a rapist. You think that you're enacting him into the highest calling of his soul, but that way? Come on. On that note, I'm going to get out of here. Listen, I love you all very much. Go out there and love one another, but most importantly, what? That's right, love yourself. Love yourself. And loving yourself is not just accepting the constant rigmarole, the hypnosis of people trying to convince you of something that you know in your heart, soul, and mind is not true. I know black men. We all have black men in our families. When we give birth to sons, we give birth to black men. And if there is not something that is inherent in their DNA that just causes them to be just raping, roving beasts, then we need to take a look at what is creating this as the quote-unquote status quo. What is doing it? Love yourself enough to know fact from fiction and maintain what it is that you know to be truth. And ask other people to maintain that too. And on that note, I am out. Tonya TKO. Peace.